structures in a school, you have something called a PTA.
Yes.
The PTA holds the school accountable.
Accountable.
Right?
True.
And the school then has to answer to the PTA for certain things that it does. When that system does not work, then the school is the school administration and ownership is completely liberated from any accountability. They can do what they want to do.
But a university system, how do you have a PTA meeting?
Exactly.
Because that happens in a primary and secondary school.
So now this was where the unions came up, because the unions came up as a means of applying some kind of a check in a system, in the former system that we had. So you had the NANS, you had the ASU, you had the non-academic staff union and all that sort of stuff. So these guys were really supposed to be like a counterbalance to authority, which resided at that time in public universities and the federal government.
Okay.
Over time, particularly during the military regime, they worked to break the power of those unions. And by breaking the power of those unions, they liberated themselves from responsibility. We moved into a democratic environment, and they continued, the civilians who now took over continued with the same attitude as though they were military. And so the lack of accountability is not there. What is the how? I think that there are two or three things that need to happen. The first is that, and unfortunately, all these things have to start from the top, because that's the structure that we currently have. First of all, we have to accept that we cannot, in the year 2020, be building an education system that's on a 19th century model. So that means that we have to fundamentally re-envision education for the 21st century.
Okay.
And when we do so, we will find that a lot of people, including ASU, will be uncomfortable. Because what it means is that the ASU lecturer is no longer evaluated based on what his vice chancellor or his head of department or his faculty head thinks. Because the students will have, in the 21st century learning environment, the student will take courses from a lecturer in Harvard. He will take courses from a lecturer in MIT. He will take courses from a lecturer in the university in China. He will take from Australia. And so the university lecturer in ASU, in Nigeria, is no longer measuring himself against his neighbor, but against the global standard. And the student will be able to pick and choose what courses he or she wants to attend from anywhere in the world. That fundamental transformation is a threat to the existing system, because then those who cannot meet up to that standard will fall by the wayside.
True.
Today I was going through a document for Eton College. Eton College is a secondary school in the UK. And it's one of the oldest and one of the most famous schools. And I was looking at the house masters and the credentials of the house masters, those who manage the students in the school boarding environment. There wasn't a single one who didn't have like a PhD or a master's from an Oxford or a Cambridge.
Wow.
They had studied things like neuroscience, nuclear physics, chemistry, the classics in Oxford and all that. Secondary school. How does a secondary school student in Umuahia compete with a secondary school student who has gone to an Eton College in a flat world that has been created by the 21st century? You made a good point around what happens to a student when he leaves Nigeria. And I want you to mark it by two things. First of all, for almost 40 years, we have been doing something called Alternative to Practical as an exam.
Okay.
Alternative to Practical is an exam that was put in place for students who didn't have access to labs, who actually never did the titration, didn't do the experiments that were required to do in physics, chemistry, and biology.
Okay.
And that Alternative to Practical has become the de facto exam because the schools don't have labs. Now, you do Alternative to Practical, and then you take an exam to get into university to study medicine. You have never once done a single experiment in a lab. So what do we do? If you look at the cost of implementing laboratories, each laboratory in a secondary school would cost something between 80 and 100 million naira for one lab.
Wow.
So how many of them can we possibly build? You need to be able to understand the limitations that you're facing. If we took the entire federal budget and applied it to education, we would probably not even be able to meet up with the infrastructure.
Okay, so this leads me to my next question of how can we begin to merge technology to help with education, not just on the tertiary level, but also across board, so that we don't have to, because even, the open university system that we have in Nigeria that we assumed will make things better still is very, hands. So yes, the students don't physically go in except when they have exams, but they really don't use so much technology. How do we begin to use technology to reduce this cost and to improve education, on a whole, not just from tertiary, but from primary, secondary to tertiary?
The first challenge we have is not the how. The first challenge we have is that we don't believe it. If we believed it, we would have committed to it.
But I think we believe it. Sorry to interrupt, because the pandemic
what did
now
ASU
has
tell you?
What
did ASU tell us about online?
Okay, yes, well, true.
So they said it is impossible.
But they said it to be practicable, because during this time, most schools now, even for the secondary schools, they've alternated the days where they go to school 2 days in a week.
You and I understand
3 days in a week.
We know it's a reality.
Okay.
But if the the Academic Association of Universities, highest, where all our eggheads are, tell you it cannot work, then what do you expect the government to do? Force it down their throats? Who's going to make it happen? The issue is that by 2014, the Indira Gandhi National Open University had more students, at 2.2 million students, than the entire 167 universities in Nigeria today have. One university, online university, had more students than the entirety of all 167 physical universities.
But I think you've also alluded to the
So what we need to do is this. So the first thing is, and sorry, just to kind of, because I know we always have time limitations. Yeah. The first thing is that we have to make a national commitment.
Okay.
Right? And that national commitment can only come when we have an open and public acceptance that the 19th century model for education has to go. And we must, as a country, go to the 21st century. And you cannot go to a 21st century model without accepting and embracing technology as the fundamental enabler of learning.
There's so many questions I want to ask. There's so many questions, but sadly we can't take, time, because I want to ask about internet penetration. How are we going to have that, across the
We don't need the internet.
We don't, across the country. We don't need the internet?
No.
What do we need then? Please, let's just make this your last one. What do we need to be able to go fully online?
So if this were a classroom for me, and every building around here was housed parents with children who wanted to go to my school,
okay,
what I would do is that I would set up Wi-Fi access using a simple router, no internet. My computer will be here, all my lessons will be here, and anybody who is around, just like you use your MiFi,
okay,
right? Your MiFi, you're connecting to me.
Sure.
This time, not connecting to the internet. And anything that I broadcast from my computer here, anybody in this vicinity who logs on to my network will get exactly the same content. So 80% of the content that is required, even up to 90% of the content that is required to teach, does not require connection to the internet.
Okay.
So I can create in a rural community. I can bring the world to a rural community. How would I do that? I take my laptop. I download all the content that I require onto my laptop. It's powered for 8 hours. I pass my neighbor generator. I go to a primary school, and I take a small projector, and I go to a primary school, and I project on the wall. I will run every single class to world-class standard off of my laptop, because I can have the entirety of Encyclopedia Britannica on my laptop. I can have all the lessons from early childhood through to university. I can have over 6,000, and it's not theory. We've done this in Cross River State, where we went by canoes into villages, and we taught teachers how to use laptops in their classrooms.
Wow, interesting. Sadly, we will have to go. And please, we'd like to have you again. I hope you'll make time to come again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we can take on this episode of 101. Please join us again. I'm Funmi Onuajefe.
Well, many thanks for joining us on Plus News Update. I am Justin Akadonia. Now, the publicity secretary of the Pan-Yoruba social political group Afenifere, Yinka Odumakin, has slammed the presidency with the claim that it is always the force to defend herdsmen anytime they kill people. Odumakin also slammed some northern leaders for only finding their voice when the victims of herdsmen attack rise up in resistance. He said this in an interview on Monday, pointing out that there would have been a war in the country by now. A Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has inaugurated a 36-month inter-religious council to help foster peaceful coexistence in the state. He further directed the council to support the peace-building agency in finding a lasting solution to the renewed herder-farmers clashes in some part of the state, such as Bassa, where there were reports that people have been killed in attacks and reprisals. Lalong charged them to promote the culture of interfaith dialogue as a viable mechanism for peaceful coexistence, understanding and religious tolerance in Plateau State. He urged them to work with different faith communities and other organizations that operate across faith lines to expand respect for religious pluralism and freedom of religion or belief in Plateau State. Now, Nigerian youth have threatened to hold a fresh protest at the Lekki tollgate over plans to reopen it for operations. It was gathered that they have begun to mobilize on social media with the hashtag Revolution Now and hashtag Occupy Lekki Tollgate, trended as #1 and 3 on Twitter. Youth have also shared pictures and banners to create awareness about the protest. The protest plans come after the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Saturday approved the reopening of the toll gate, where Nigerian soldiers had allegedly killed peaceful protesters on October 20th last year. A federal high court seated in Abuja has ordered the rearraignment of former Abia State Governor Senator Orji Uzor Kalu in an alleged 7.1 billion naira money laundering charges be put on hold pending the resolution of the legality of the retrial charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Now, Justice Inyang Ekwo, in ruling on an ex parte application, also granted leave to the senator representing Abia North to challenge the legality of the retrial in the same charges. The judge admitted that Senator Kalu, who is the Senate's chief whip, had placed sufficient materials of value before the court to enable him to secure permission for judicial review of his retrial in charges in which he had been tried, convicted, and spent some months at Kuje Prison in Abuja. Justice Ekwo, who announced that the order of the court shall operate as a stay of proceedings, also granted Senator Kalu permission to apply for an order of perpetual injunction against the federal government through the EFCC to prohibit his retrial so as not to be made to suffer double jeopardy. Now, the causes of most fires include erratic power surges, illegal electrical connections, improper electrical fittings, substandard electrical materials, and use of indoor generators. Plus TV correspondent Lusokomi Ogumoko reports that some Nigerian youths in Ekiti State are advocating regular fire drills in schools, offices, and markets, which will enhance effective prevention, detection, and escape techniques. The walk around the market in Ado-Ekiti was in collaboration with the Federal Fire Service, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and other safety agencies in the state. The experts say, aside the need for orientation and constant education, Nigerians should learn to insure their properties. Now, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he is confident that both the AstraZeneca and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines helped prevent deaths and grave illness, and that medicine was slowly gaining the upper hand over the novel coronavirus.
I've no doubt that vaccines generally are going to offer the way out, and with every day that goes by, you can see that medicine is slowly getting the upper hand over the disease. We believe that our vaccines are effective in combating serious disease and death against all variants. But the most important thing is that the vaccinologists, the scientists, are getting ever faster and more expert in coming up with the new vaccines and the variants of the vaccines, if you like, that enable us to defeat the virus.
Meantime, there is still hope that AstraZeneca and Oxford COVID-19 vaccine will prevent severe disease from the South African variant of coronavirus. This is according to the professor who found it had limited impact on mild disease. On Sunday, South Africa says it will put the use of the shot in its vaccination program on hold after data showed it gave minimal protection against mild to moderate infection caused by the country's dominant coronavirus variant. Shabir Madhi, who led the study in South Africa, said when looking at whether it could prevent severe disease, the AstraZeneca vaccine could be compared to the one made by Johnson & Johnson, which has proved effective.
Key thing is there doesn't appear to be any evidence that it's any less. That's really good.
Now, in other parts of Africa, an alliance of Somali opposition parties have proposed the creation of a national council of lawmakers, opposition leaders and civil societies to govern the war-ravaged country after the president's term expired on Monday. The opposition alliance said they would reject any attempt to extend the term of President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed. They also added that an election schedule should hold soon and suggested the council could elect a transitional leader to govern until a new president can be chosen by lawmakers. Now, Myanmar police have warned protesters to disperse or face force shortly after state television signaled impending action to stifle mass demonstrations against a military coup on the arrest of elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. In the capital, Naypyidaw, 3 lines of police in riot gear could be seen across a road as protesters chanted anti-coup slogans and told police they should serve the people, not the military, according to a report. Police placed a sign in the road saying that live ammunition could be used if demonstrators breached the third line of officers. Earlier, police in Naypyidaw briefly turned water cannon on protesters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has pleaded not guilty to corruption charges at the resumption of his trial, 6 weeks before voters again head to the polls to pass judgment on his leadership. Netanyahu, the 47th Israeli leader to be charged with a crime, seemed intent on projecting an air of business as usual, thanking the court and leaving without explanation some 20 minutes into the session. He was indicted in 2019 in long-running cases involving gifts from millionaire friends and for allegedly seeking regulatory favors for media tycoons in return for favorable coverage. On entering the courtroom, Netanyahu sat in a corner with his lawyers, his back to cameras. The session itself was not broadcast, but reporters could monitor a closed-circuit feed elsewhere in the building. Well, let's talk business now. Brent oil prices on Monday shot past $60 a barrel for the first time in more than a year. Monday, with investors growing increasingly optimistic about demand as the global economy recovers from the coronavirus pandemic, the commodity climbed 1.26% to $60.19 a barrel, its highest since January last year, as asset markets rallied on the back of vaccine rollout, slowing virus infections, and hopes that President Joe Biden's huge stimulus proposal will be passed by U.S. lawmakers. Crude has been on the rise for weeks as Biden pushes his $1.9 trillion rescue package, which includes big cash handouts and a hike in the minimum wage. In entertainment news now, Nigerian social media stars Ikorodu Boys have been nominated for the Favorite African Social Media Star category at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. The Ikorodu Boys is a Nigerian online comedy group that recreates and mimics multi-million-dollar music videos Hollywood movie trailers, and epic pictures. Last year, Ikorodu Boys drew the attention of the producers of the Hollywood movie Extraction 2. The Russell brothers are following the remake of the movie trailer, which features Chris Hemsworth. In a tweet by the Russell brothers, they expressed excitement at the remake and invited the Ikorodu Boys to the world premiere of their Netflix action film sequel. And finally, in sports news, the Qatari 2022 World Cup organizers have insisted that matches will be staged in stadiums operating at 100% capacity, even as the global fight against coronavirus drags on. In Tokyo, organizers of this year's rescheduled Olympics have insisted their tournament will go ahead, but infectious diseases experts question the safety of hosting it before the virus is comprehensively defeated, and speculation is rife that they could be called off. If the Olympics fall, the 2022 World Cup, being staged in the Middle East for the first time, will be the next major global sporting event to face the scrutiny of its virus strategy and safety plans. And that's Plus News Update for now. For more updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later at 6 p.m. with more updates. I am Justin Akadonye. Many thanks for watching.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let everybody come and say.
The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
In recent times, mental health disorders have become a pressing public health issue, depression being one of the most common of them. Depression is a common illness worldwide with more than 264 million people. According to WHO, projections indicate that depression may be the second leading cause of life lost after heart disease. At its worst, depression can lead to suicide. Almost 1 million lives are lost yearly due to suicide, which translates to 3,000 suicide deaths every day. For every person who completes a suicide, 20 may attempt to end his or her life. Recently, a young Nigerian known as Ayodele Bandele was reportedly been found dead hours after he was declared missing on Tuesday, January 12th in Lagos State. Before he was declared missing, he left a disturbing note on his Instagram story where he hinted suicide after opening up on how he battled depression for 7 years. This trailed reactions on social media. Depression is real. Anyone can get depressed, even the teenagers. The World Health Organization has said that globally, depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disabilities among adolescents, and suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds. We spoke to a child and educational psychologist who spoke on the causes of depression among the teenagers.
A lot of people believe that depression happens to only adults, but research has proven that teenagers also experience depression. Now, talking about what causes depression in teenagers, there are a whole lot of things that could cause depression among teenagers, but it's usually as a result of some kind of exposure to experiencing something different. So for some of them, they might experience a failure. Maybe they wrote an examination and they failed. It could cause depression. Sometimes it could be loss of a loved one. Maybe one of the parents passed on, or even a situation like a divorce. For some children who have very fragile personality, something like a sudden change of environment or a sudden change of school, something that is just unpalatable to them can cause depression in teenagers.
Here is a viral video of a mother in Kenya who narrated how she lost her teenage child.
And it was a Sunday evening and we had just had supper. And I thought that it was just one of his antics because he was a difficult boy. He became very difficult after he failed his Form 4 exams. And so finally, when they kept going and coming, and I was in my room. When I went outside, I found my son hanging on my veranda. And the most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up till here. Because he had...
What should be done? What are the roles the parents are to play in curbing these disturbing issues of depression?
So the first thing that I would say that parents need to do is to realize that this is possible and to wake up from this, what I call it, denial that seems to exist in most African families. When parents do these two things, then they become naturally more observant. They begin to look out for the signs in the children. Yes, teenagers have a lot going on for them. They're going through hormonal changes. They're going through a lot of physical, psychological changes. And so, yes, they would have mood swings. They'll have high and low days, but it'll come and go. But once it lingers for 2 weeks, thereabouts, please, we need to talk to a specialist. We need to talk to a doctor, first of all, because sometimes parents do not know how to access specialists. So we need to talk to a doctor who will then refer whether to a child psychologist or to a psychiatrist or whoever they think is best in that situation.
It is reported that majority of Nigerians lack awareness about mental health, plus non-available mental health services. These barriers have long-lasting consequences, as depressed patients who are untreated are more vulnerable to suicidal thoughts and suicide. There is therefore a need for more mental health practitioners in the country in order to meet the needs of the ever-growing number of people who will need to be treated. The first step towards tackling these issues, however, is raising awareness and talking about it.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed. Survive her 200 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, dem go beat you.
Now 2,500 I dey pay.
Abraham, Moses, Jacob, you are one family.
There's no dream of this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
I would take the vaccine on a condition. That is, if our politicians, the leaders, will test it first and will see it works in them before I will go into that.
Yes, I will, but due to what they say that prevention is better than cure, so I will take the vaccine for the purpose of in case of. But for me, I didn't believe there is COVID-19 in Nigeria.
It will depend on the science behind it, who's behind it, the pharmaceutical company behind it, the research behind it. Like I said, it's based on the science that is behind it. Can they show that they understand what COVID-19 is?
Would you take it?
For anything. Because I can't even experience that thing. My family and me, my people, we can never encounter that kind of COVID-19 because there is no COVID-19 in Nigeria.
I will not take it anymore. And anybody work close to me, I will not allow him to take anything like vaccine. I go school, I know something like about something like that. So I will not take myself to taking something like vaccine because I not take like something like corona would attend to me, right? Because I didn't believe on it. That's it.
No. The whole corona, whatever, all those ones is a lie, I know. So it's a lie. So why will I take anything about corona or whatever? No, I won't take it.
Yeah, from my own point of view, I don't think I would want to. The reason is this: I might need them to run a check on it and then test someone else. Then if it works perfectly, then who am I to say no?
I'll take just professional myself now, to prepare myself. So, as far as all over the world I take it to just, have any other cure for now, even in this country. So I'll take the vaccine to secure myself, my family, my children, my wife.
I'll take it if it's real, if it's not fake. It's fake. Everything they are doing is fake.
No. Why? They should use it to treat their family, not us. Nothing is wrong with us. We are not sick.
a lè lo kò sílé kò ń bì nọ́mbà tó ló ń wà tó bá ti rẹ̀ èèyàn kó má rí pé èèyàn wúkọ́ àbẹ́yàn sick lásán ọmọ àná ní COVID-19 nìyẹn.
Yeah, well, definitely I would if it's 100% guaranteed. If other people are taking it and things are really going on well, why not? I will take it.
I don't know. I will have to test the authenticity first.
Yes, it's for our safety. It's for our being. You know, the deadly disease is everywhere. So we need to protect ourselves to be alive. Right. You know, yes.
Of course, I will take it if it becomes available.
Why would you take it?
Because you have to be part of the global community. You can't isolate yourself from what is happening in the world. Everybody knows that COVID-19 is ravaging the world. It's a fact. So if something comes up, you understand, to prevent you from having COVID-19, you just have to trust your instinct and take it.
Abraham, Moses, Jacob, you are one family.
There's no dream of this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
a great source of pride to Nigeria whenever a Nigerian in a foreign country rises to the top of their field and is recognized for good. Here are a few of such Nigerians. Oye Obolewa is the first Nigerian-born Democrat that has been elected as a shadow United States representative out of the District of Columbia. Based on the result, Oye had 82.65% of the votes, which represents 135,234 votes against Joyce Robinson Paul. Oye was congratulated by many, including the Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM. His father is from Kwara State and mother is from Oyo. He holds a PhD in pharmacy from the Northeastern University, Boston. He will be representing the District of Columbia under the Democratic Party. Esther Agbaje. Born to immigrant parents, Esther has been elected into the Minnesota House of Representatives in the recently completed United States general election. In the election, Agbaje won by a total of 17,396 votes, which represents 74.7% of the total ballots cast. She will represent District 59B in the 134-member House on the platform of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, an affiliate of the Democratic Party. She has a degree in political science from George Washington University, Washington, D.C. Oyema Ogbuagbu. Oyema is a Nigerian-born researcher and medical doctor who is one of the brains behind the research at Pfizer for the potential world's first effective coronavirus vaccine. The vaccine has been tested on over 43,000 people in 6 countries and no safety concerns have been raised. Oyema is the son of a former vice chancellor of Abia State University and a professor of sociology. He was born in New Haven in Connecticut but went to the University of Calabar in Cross River State to complete his university education in medicine. He then returned to the Yale School of Medicine to work as the director of the institution's HIV clinical trials program. After becoming a fellow of infectious diseases, he rose to the height of an associate professor of medicine at the Yale University School of Medicine, New Haven. He has worked there for 5 years, focusing on finding a cure for HIV/AIDS. Robert Shola Okoje, the Nigerian doctor who is a native of Uromi, Eso Northeast local government area of Edo State, has been inducted into the NASA Inventors Hall of Fame. Dr. Okoje is recognized globally as the leading expert on silicon carbide-based microelectromechanical systems, MEMS, for use in extreme environments. He has worked with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, for 20 years and has 21 patents. Isaac Okoro. In the world of sports, Nigerians are also taking center stage. Isaac was the first of the 8 Nigerian players drafted into the National Basketball Association, NBA, in its 2020 draft. He was the 5th overall pick and was chosen by Cleveland Cavaliers in 2020. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, to Nigerian parents and was a small forward, part of the USA's winning team at the 2018 Under-17 Basketball World Cup in Argentina. His parents originated and immigrated from Nigeria. Isaac played basketball for his high school in Georgia for 4 years, helping his team win the state championship and achieved national success in the senior season. He was considered a 5-star recruit by Rivals and a 4-star recruit by 24/7 Sports and ESPN, respectively. To these Nigerians and other Nigerians breaking the proverbial glass ceiling, we say, keep it up. The motherland is proud of you.
Contrary to popular belief, corona is not a hoax. The virus is real. Be responsible. Wear a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water and avoid crowded places. Maintain physical distancing. Be responsible. Together, we can overcome the pandemic.
It's the month of love as we count down to Valentine's Day. Hope you thought of that special someone, or are you still thinking about that special someone? And in case you don't have, the Lord of the Bullets will provide for you. But guess what? We think about you all the time. You're welcome to the Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we break down the stories with love and, of course, analytically. You ready? Let's do this. I've got with me my runaway anchors, but guess what? They back and better. Ife Omai and Miss Popola. How you guys doing?
Miss Popo is sick. How's it going?
Miss Bombola.
Really? I'm not with you.
You know, she changed. She changed. Oh, come on. We have to comment the look.
Very pretty.
Yeah, you look very African and nice. You know, no earrings and stuff. You know, really natural. Yeah, nice. And very light makeup as well. What came over you? What touched you?
I was like...
What was different? What happened?
I was like, this week, enough of Ife's bone straight jokes. I'm tired.
Yes, exactly. Please make sure you clarify on which Ife we're talking about.
Yeah, Ife boy.
But wait, are you scared of her or something? Because she's as guilty as I am.
I am as guilty.
Wait.
That is not
She's
true.
even worse.
I am
At
guilty.
least I'm bold enough to tell you
yes,
to
but
your
I'm not
face.
as guilty as you. Don't even go there.
Wait. That's because I just said it. Two of you are the same thing. He just started
I
it.
wouldn't
That's
do it
why
on TV, national TV. My joke is
You wouldn't do it on
newsroom.
TV. So you're...
That was not on TV. That was not on TV, Faye. That was downstairs.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, we've moved on. Now we have...
So what's this called now?
Locks.
Let's just to be clear, so that when you tell me the name, it won't come as a shock, you know? Because that one, you choke, I say. That one, choke. So tell me about this one. What is it called?
Let's just say dreads.
Dreads.
Yes.
If I is carrying, do you see what my problem with you?
It's faux locks. It's called faux locks, yes.
Okay.
So faux locks,
And yours is
F-A-U-X.
dreads. Like
Mine is
dreadlocks.
original locks.
Yours is
Faux
original.
is like
Okay, so
fake
ours
locks.
is... Huh?
Yeah.
Faux is like a way of saying fake. So
Yeah.
fake locks. It looks like locks, looks like dreadlocks, but it's like installed.
So
it's
yours
not great
is
for my
fake,
hair.
Ours is original. Just the way your bone straight was
Okay.
fake.
Water.
Anyways, well, I'm so glad you have finally changed your looks, and you know.
Why? What was wrong with that look? Thank
you. Huh?
That look was actually
Should
pretty.
we go there?
Okay, no, let's not.
Should
actually.
we? Okay. Now you look like money, but let's move on. And
So I look...
after the show. Yeah. So let's talk about the Gorilla Glue lady. You guys know about her, right? That side, though. Let's talk about her. Like, what's your take on that? Is that even true?
It is, though, legit. So what she used, to be very honest, she was quite stupid. Like, that thing is not for your natural hair. It is to glue. It's, you know that, do you remember that glue that they sell for like 50 naira? It's like in a tube-like thing, and they use a pin, super glue, and they sell it in packets. It's basically the same substance. And this girl used it to do packing gel. Just imagine actually using that kind of glue as packing gel.
Thank you.
Yeah, so she knew that
Well,
it
it's
was...
called spray adhesive, and they put it there. That is for it's a hair product.
No, what? No.
It's not hair product.
It's not
even good for your hair.
Yeah, it's
at
not
all.
good
It
for your...
damages the
Yeah,
texture.
even the one that she said she used, that she normally uses, that one is not even for your hair. It's for your, like, your skin and, like, the lace glue. And there's even supposed... And it's very tiny that you put. It's like 1 inch that you put... Sis went and combed it and laid the edges
I had
with
a
it.
mental breakdown looking at her do that, like, girl, what
When
will
she
happen to
put
your
the
hair after?
I'm telling you, when
It
she
start
put the
falling.
conditioner, I was like, sis might not even have hair again. The worst thing that can happen to this girl is that she would not be able to grow hair from her scalp anymore.
What?
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
At least she has a shiny head for now.
I think
this style, this is a permanent cute style, you know.
that's what I was gonna say. That she should go and ask. If I was her, yeah, I'll ask the doctor. Can I grow hair after this? If they say no, I'm gonna carry this hair for the rest of my life.
Like this.
Yes.
It's actually cute, you know.
You can wear your wig on top of it. You can, you know. The only problem now is that even the extension at the back, the ponytail can't come off either because wahala.
Well, this is really sad, man. I think it's a classic case of don't try this at home. Yeah, so if you don't have the right products for your hair, I think you should just carry it natural or do locks. You get what I mean? But
and people usually don't listen to instructions as well. Like we've seen even natural hair being damaged in different ways. Where they say conditioner, keep the conditioner on for 30 minutes, and people do it overnight.
You know, people
and
just
then
like
in the morning the hair is
experiment.
falling off. So like just listen to the instructions. If it's supposed to be an adhesive that is supposed to be for lace glue on your skin, don't put it on your hair and turn it into
I
packing
think in fact
gel.
there's some
like-
girls just like acting as if, okay, I discovered this thing, like trying to be creative, but there's a difference between being creative and silly.
And I think this
what's
thing
the
works
craziest
too.
thing that's happened to your hair, from that you cursed personally?
I didn't curse it. It was when I was transitioning from natural hair, from relaxer to natural hair. And I had, how that thing where you grow your natural hair for a bit and then, because you don't want to have a short, you don't want to have grey makpa, you understand? So I went to the salon and I was like, yeah, I want to cut off the relaxed ends and then have the fro and stuff. And then the guy was like, yeah, sure, lady, I got you, da 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 da. And this guy started from here and just went, zit, like really, really low. So I had like a short haircut that was forced on me. And I don't know if it sounds a bit like silly, but if you're not prepared for a short hair, it's like,
It's very traumatic.
yes, it is very traumatic. I remember crying. I called my mother because I was not even in Nigeria then. I called my mother really crying and stuff like, oh my gosh, all my hair is gone. It was not funny at all.
So how about you?
Mine was quite silly.
Carrying bone straight. I was just joking. Okay, that's the last. I
Thank
promise.
you. Thank you
You've
very
promised,
much.
Ife.
I promise. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the last.
We are holding him to this one right now. I think I watched a YouTube video. I wanted to get rid of all my undergrowth and everything like that. So I grabbed the scissors and I started doing it by myself.
And it didn't turn out well.
Let's just leave it. It was terrible, man.
Yeah.
One side was longer than the other.
Yeah.
You know when you watch YouTube videos at time, you just feel like you're
It's
you're
so
good.
easy.
Like you can
All you
do
need to do is
it.
just grab this and then do
Okay.
this.
Now that I know the worst things you guys have, I'm sure you're not going to ask me because we never really go wrong, do we? And I've tried everything with my hair anyway, so. I don't
So
think
you've never had a terrible barber that will take your hairline?
No, I think I fell asleep at some point. No, it's not even falling asleep. I think the power supply was cut off, and I had a class, and I had to go with my hair like that. So I had like the middle on, mohawk. So they shaved all the side because I was actually taking it completely low.
Right.
So they go like this, so it became like a mohawk, and then the power supply was cut off. So I had to run to class like that, and people thought it was a style. So I was still able to. No. It looked just like mohawk, and people just felt like it was my crazy self. But apparently, it was because the light was cut off. So I took it down the next
So,
day. So
okay.
yeah. No, I didn't carry it. No,
I was gonna
I
say,
took
like,
it down
you
that
just-
same day. So when I was going by, like, what happened to your style? You took down your style. So we can still, flex on it. But you guys can't try it now.
Why not?
You can flex on mohawk.
Why not?
She said when there's wig, you see, she denied
But
you.
still, when
You
there's
see?
wig,
All right. So moving on, I told you that we would definitely be discussing a lot of stories that happened over the weekend, and yes, a lot happened in the world of entertainment. But we picked a few of them to talk about for you guys, and this one is on Burna Boy, the giant of Africa, is in the news again as a Nigerian mechanic has called out the singer for damaging his car and refusing to acknowledge or apologize for his actions. He wrote, "Good evening at Burna Boy. Convoy just hit my car." Well, that was what he wrote, but he said he hit my car at Lekki Phase 1 around 8:15 p.m. On Saturday, 6/2021. This terrible. I don't have money for Har. That's the company that repairs cars or comes to pick it up for you. But Burna Boy told me to F off. They all drove into Vintage Park Estate by Chisco behind Toyota Company in Lekki, which I believe they knew. I have no access to the estate. Reacting to his very close friend, King Mani, Burna Boy dismissed the allegations as false, stating that none of his cars is damaged. And yes, that. Apparently, Burna Boy is saying that the guy saw him and wanted to flex and wanted to pick up a story or trend because so he blocked his convoy, and when he was doing that, a lot of fans came. But I don't know, this story is kind of not adding up to me because I want to believe if someone should do that to a Burna Boy, someone you don't know, blocks your convoy. Come on, we all know Burna. Burna will go off. Do you understand?
Come on. I think that they need to do better with the response.
The story was because
it did not add up.
it didn't add up. Like, why would you say a random guy blocked your convoy, then fans started gathering, blah blah blah? A Burna Boy wouldn't even let that. In fact, your mopos or your whatever you're riding with won't
They'll
let
come
that
down,
happen.
like,
They will come down and clear that person off the roads for you to. It wouldn't even take up
This
to 5
guy
minutes.
showed an evidence of the same color of car that Burna Boy's color was, which was red, and had a red smudge on the side of his car as well. I mean, for me,
No, it wasn't Burna who hate him though. He never
it
said
doesn't.
it was
No,
Burna.
you're not. That's not my
Yeah.
point. My point is that the color of car that Burna Boy's people, same difference. I really don't care who was driving.
No, it wasn't
the
Rolls
point
Royce
is,
that, if it was Rolls Royce that hit him,
you're missing my point, Ife.
Okay.
This guy, this person that's talking, even him didn't even say Burna Boy hit him. He's saying that Burna Boy's people. So he saw Burna Boy and a bunch of other people following. One of them, whoever, hits his car is the point of conversation. And they told him to, get lost or whatever. That's the story. Not that Burna Boy took the car and hit him.
Yes.
So that is not the point of conversation here. What I'm saying is that the guy already went as far as taking a video of his car, what his car looked like, smudged and dented, with the red paint. And if you see the video of the person that he was also recording, saying, look at the guys that were telling me to, get
Your
lost
car
or
was
whatever.
red.
The car was red as well, And for you to say, so for me, if you're going to say that, if you're coming out to make
I
a
didn't even take note of that because I thought all the cars were red apart from, the Burna Boy's car. So, I thought only Burna Boy's car was red. Do you understand? So I thought the other cars were black. You
No, the
understand?
car
So
I saw,
I was trying to put that together too, like, bro, I'm seeing black convoys in front. So how come there's a
the car
red
I saw,
thing?
because there were a bunch of cars. The car I saw where it was a convertible, so the fence or whatever was down, the ceiling was down. That car was red.
That's Burna Boy's Rolls Royce. That's what I'm
That's
telling
the car
you.
that they said apparently in terms
No,
of
he said
evidence.
he was showing us in that video that look at Burna Boy. That's this guy that heated my car in front. That was what I didn't say heated though. That's the guy that heated my car. But can you people see Burna Boy? His friend in front heated my car.
The evidence I saw on that car, the paint was red. I saw that. Except if they have
But
they can, they can show it for us.
Nigerians have a problem, including myself, because I'm not going to exclude myself, because we're all making jokes about his English, about his
I didn't
grammar,
make a joke about his
and
English.
saying, yeah, that's why I said including myself.
Okay.
Because if you go online, you would see a lot of
That
people.
was the point of conversation. Really.
Focus on why are you saying, and which is why I brought it up, because I'm trying to see if somebody else would join me, or somebody else would see it and be
We're
like,
better
you
than
first
that,
stop.
Ife. We're
So why you're not better than that? Because you didn't stop me. You didn't even make an attempt to stop me.
No, Ife, you do your own thing. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want, and you can focus on whatever
So
you want to focus
everybody on
on.
the internet, they are grown as well, but
Yes.
we have a problem with them. So why can't we say
Like
the
people
truth
just try to.
when we
People
need
just
to?
like when you make grammatical blunders and everything. They also focus on that.
Exactly,
being
and
true.
there's a lot of people on the internet that were also
That
making
didn't make the same
exactly,
mistake you've been
yes,
saying.
exactly, and there's a lot of people who also call them out, and there's a lot of people that focus on other things as well.
I saw people that call them out and be like, boy, it's English though. They'll be like, must you people make jokes about this guy? Let's focus on Burna Boy's arrogance. Let's focus on this. But the guy's English too, in brackets.
The
Do you
reason
understand?
why I wouldn't even correct you is because you were quoting him correctly. He did say he hit it, whatever. If you want to make a joke about that, that's up to you. I don't need to correct the English because that's not the point of conversation for me. The point of conversation was when I saw the guy's car obviously being dented. Because you can make noise. You know that thing where even me, I do it sometimes if I want to be silly. Like if you hit me and I go, oh my God, my arm, you've broken it. So I thought that's what he was doing, that a celebrity has hit your car, but it's just like a little scratch or whatever. But when I saw the side of the car and it was like proper dented and there's obviously like a smudge and everything, I didn't even know Burna Boy was in the red car.
He gave way too much information, because if you're talking about the location they went to, and I know that estate very well,
Yeah. Okay.
there is no way you're going to get into that estate without being known. Like
Yeah.
if they don't know you at the gate, you definitely can get in. Do you understand? Like somebody needs to make a call. So he gave way too much information, and I know the person that lives in that estate, that Burna Boy would probably, I'm not saying it with my chest now, that Burna Boy has probably gone to see this guy. Do you understand? So I'm not going to say like, yes, that's who Burna Boy went to see. But if it's actually that place, that's way too much information. Do you understand? So I don't think the guy has any reason to lie.
And I'm sorry, the response for me was very flimsy as well.
Very.
I mean, for me, if somebody says they hit my car.
They hit your car.
The most I would do is just show my car. I didn't hit anyone. look at my car. I did not hit anybody. That's all you would do. But the person that hit the car is not even saying anything. Then it's somebody else who's saying something, and he's saying it like mocking the guy's English and saying, "Oh, I didn't hit." Like it's just word of mouth. Like come out and say something. Like you're, I don't know.
What about the story though? About when what this guy Manny was saying. Like they're trying to tell the guy to move, and it was like he didn't. And they're trying to tell him to move away because of the crowd was getting too much. I kind of understand where it's coming from. Have you like when you see?
So is that when he hit the car, or he didn't hit the car, or is that what you're saying?
I feel he hits the car.
Right.
But I'm just trying to talk about the story between it. Like I kind of believe it. Like they were trying to. I'm picturing it in my head. Sorry, that they're trying to tell him to move away. Like people are getting too much, and he was as nice. He wanted to take pictures with Burna Boy and was so insistent on that. So I just feel.
And then when he moved, they now hit the car. Okay, that's not what Manny is saying.
But
Manny is saying that he didn't touch the car.
Guess what? That still don't make sense. That's exactly what I said in the beginning. That if a Burna Boy is riding in his convoy, which is why they don't ride solo in the first place, somebody double crosses you and is trying to take pictures. It's going to be cleared immediately because they don't even know who you are. Do you understand? That's why you have convoy. That's why you have escorts. Do you understand? So there's nothing like it will get to a level. I've never seen it happen, even with leg traffic. Do you understand? Not to talk of a car where somebody will double cross someone you don't know that wasn't riding when you blocked the car, and you guys are so Burna Boy is so patient. Please, Oga, move. We need to go. The crowd is getting much. Oga, now please. Okay, we are take your picture. Oga, please. Is that what Burna Boy was doing? Really? Burna Boy wouldn't do that.
Or like, okay, this scenario.
Yeah, another scenario, yeah.
I'm just like, me
Nollywood film, yeah.
And that's how we do. But I'm just like, to me, like, guy, move your car away. Like, they don't, they plenty and everything.
I think the Burna Boy will speak that way. Guy, move your car away. But so it's not believable if as soon as the guy blocked them, they brushed him and said, move, we're going to clear you off the road. That one I can believe because that's standard behavior.
But none of them are even narrating the story. So why are we doing
Yeah,
why are we
why are we
adding
narrating
super
for
story
them?
to this?
And
One has said,
you
you hit me. The other one is saying, I didn't touch your car at all. Like, people just
But whatever
moved
it
you
is,
away.
if it's true that a Burna Boy actually touched this car, I think he should apologize and, try to fix the car because people have way too many problems in this part of the world. For you to be compounding their issue, because I know how much it is. Okay, so I'm going to give a true life experience, something that happened on Friday. So I was coming to work very early in the morning. A guy brushed me, and his madam was sitting in the car. Ma'am, okay, no, the guy came there, was apologizing, saying, I'm sorry. But what pissed me off was that the guy said it was not any of the ride company drivers, right? So it was a private vehicle. So I went to the car, I took up the keys, and that was when the madam came down. I started dragging key with me. And I gave, on the road, without no apology. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, give me my keys. Do you know who I am? Do you understand? So that infuriated me. That got me really upset. I was like, really? No, I'm sorry. No, we are wrong. No, this. Next day, the driver went into my own car to take my keys. I was like, oh, wow, getting sweet. So I knew that I was going to take my money or somebody was going to pay for the damage. Do you understand? So the woman, being so selfish, told that driver, get into the car. Get in my car. Got into my car. Follow him anywhere, whatever his repairer says, let me know. And she put the driver in a stranger's car. She's never met me. I don't know her. She put him in my car. She stopped picking her calls. She stopped there. Then being a journalist that I am, the guy gave me a name. I went to do my research. She's a popular actress. She was married to a popular gospel singer. I'm not going to call out her name because that's way behind us now. But when I called her, right, she said, hey, I wasn't controlling his hands. The person that was driving will be... So apparently, the driver just started working for her 2 days when that happened. So people really do not care.
So she didn't pay for it?
She didn't. I told the driver to go. They spent a few hours there, but I told him to go at the end of the day.
This issue would have just been solved if you just
Apologize. So, so a lot of things are just, I'm sorry, a lot of arrogance won't cut it, especially during road rage in Lagos, telling me, do you know who I am? Who are you?
And I hope that's not the mentality that Burna Boy has as well. Meaning, just because you have some kind of affluence, you think then it's okay, or you can get away with treating people funny. I even put out a tweet as well on this matter saying that if at all that this is what happened, the guy's narration of the story is legit what happened, then I think Burna Boy should completely abstain from ever advocating for bad governance in Nigeria or talking about NSAS, because then that means that you are one and the same as the government, meaning that you have the power to help the person or to correct your ills, but you don't. So it's the same thing. So you can't go around treating people anyhow. And just because you have power, or just because your father is somebody, or you have whatever following on Instagram, whatever delusional privilege you think you're rolling on, doesn't still give you the right to go around treating people anyhow.
All right. I think we spent a lot of time on this story, but we need to go on a quick break, and we will be right back. Stay with us, okay?
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I am angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya, which America?
Accident to mark our place. Some people, they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Welcome back. This is still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, and yes, we have a guest joining us all the way from the United States of America. Wizard is a US-based Nigerian singer-songwriter. The versatile artist originates from Ibadan in Oyo State, Nigeria. Fela Anikulapo Kute, Remedies, Plantation Boys, Whiskey, Davido, Burna Boy, Speed Darlington, Kiss Daniel, and basically everyone in the music industry has shaped his music and work ethic for what it is today, and he vows to spread nothing but love, peace, and good vibes through his music. In this new music, he touched the rural area of life. Fly Away, a powerful music to reckon on when in love, and also assuredly having promises to keep to the promises to keep. The iLife crooner noticed for his sweet melodious voice and skill in arrangement of lyrics and pattern of music. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please make welcome the one and only Wizard Music. Welcome, brother. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
You're not bad at all, man. So yeah, tell us about your new sound, Fly Away, because it's something that has to do with love, and we're the month of love. So tell us about that.
Fly Away. One of the major things I had in mind while doing Fly Away was to do something cultural, and also something everyone could relate to. And I kind of feel I was able to accomplish that, and I really like the response I've been getting from people. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so your music journey, how has that been so far? Especially because you work kind of like in diaspora and all of that. How has that been like with, transporting your music to different regions and stuff? I just want to know from your personal perspective.
Can you say that again?
Your music journey, yeah. Like, how has it been? Obviously, getting your music out there to the, to different kinds of audiences, away from home and abroad and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great. It's been great. Music is something I've always wanted to do. I remember having a discussion with my parents when I was younger that I wanted to go to school for that. And though they were against that, but I kind of feel like now that I'm independent because I went to school for something different. Okay. It's the right time to do what I wanted to do. And that's why I'm doing it. And I didn't really get your question, so I'm trying to like balance everything. But doing music from where I'm from right now, where I am right now, which is the United States, been quite interesting. The social media has made everything easy. It's really, really exciting to be doing music at this time.
You are kind of answering the question, so I think, but let me make it clearer, because I know you're a Nigerian, right? But you are in America. And I wanted to know what your struggle, or no, not say your struggle, because it might not be a struggle for you, but your journey is like basically transporting your music outside of America.
I think
like,
basically,
I can say the question. You know, having your sound in Lagos, you know, obviously you might want your sound in the UK or Canada. So what has your journey been like transporting your music from America to the other parts of the world?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
It's been great. Social media has really made that easy. The time we are right now is really a great time to do music, and I think social media has really done a great job in taking Afro music to the world, and I'm excited about that. The internet age is really something to be excited about, and yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wizard, what really struck me about you is your name. How did that name come about? Like the name Wizard, how did you get it?
Wizard just means music wizard. Just something I'm skilled with. Something I've been doing for a while. It was a name I got from my friends. I used to have friends that we do music together, though most of them are doing something else now. But they kind of call each time I do anything, each time we get a beat or we try to work on a project, and I'm always like the lead singer and everything, and it always comes like natural. So they started calling me Wizard. I was gonna go with my name before, but I kind of like it, so I kind of changed the A to the E instead. So it's spells Wizard with an E.
All right, so I have to speak on your versatility, especially with your musical influences, you know. When I was going through and I saw a Speed Darlington, you know, it choked because I was wondering, like, you know, a Speed Darlington, how did that really, you know, come across listening to your sound, and it sounds nothing like it. So how would you say a Speed Darlington, and how would you say listening to all different kinds of music have influenced your own sound?
Yeah, Speed Darlington. I mean, I kind of learned from everyone in the industry. I kind of learned from everyone.
Tell me what you learned from Speed.
Speed is confidence. I like that. Even Diddy himself said he got inspired by him. So that's.
Oh, you're just saying that because it's your guy.
It's not my guy. I've never met Darlington before in my life.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's confidence is up there, you know.
All right. So should we be expecting the visuals to fly away anytime soon?
Oh yeah, we're working on a visualization. Probably it should be dropping sometime next week, and it's really gonna be cool. I'm also working on dropping a song next week or thereabout, and I think it's something to look forward to also. And I'm gonna be dropping my EP too, probably at the end of this month or maybe early next month. But I promise it's really, really gonna be great. It's really something to look forward to.
Are there any features that we should be looking at on your EP?
Right now there's no feature. It's just Wizard. Yeah.
What about in the nearest future? Is there anyone in the industry that you're kind of like targeting that, I need to have something with this person as well?
I would like to work with a lot of people, but right now I'm just kind of like working on a solo on my own. Cool. Anywhere, you name it. And I would also like the people to follow me on my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's at Wizard Music, and it's spelled WIZERD MUSIC. No spaces, no comma, nothing. So just Wizard Music.
Alrighty, it's been amazing having this chat with you. Thanks for sipping tea with us in Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. And yes, we'll be going on a quick music break, and we will be right back. Stay with us, yeah?
plenty trouble, so much trouble, trouble. Say you tease and you leave and never love her. All the boys and the girls that lie about you, shoot them down so they run and talk about you, yeah, yeah. I'll see you fool so whatever. They can talk about me whenever. Fool for my for you, so whatever. I'll be here by your side whenever. We are lovers, we live forever. Through desire, we live forever. We are dreamers, we live forever. Through this passion, we live forever. I know you like dirty dancing. All your girls are dirty dancing. Like it better when you're dancing. You know just how I like it. Girl, you're the one for me. 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 All them girls have been lining for me. Drop the little dirty whining for me. You're the only one that I see. You're the only one for my head. Freeze me here forever, you know I don't care. You give me plenty, plenty trouble. Trouble, trouble. Say you tease and you leave and never love her. All the boys and the girls that lie about you. Forever, through this passion we'll live forever. I know you like dirty dancing. All your girls are dirty dancing. Like it better when you're dancing. You know just how I like it. Girl, you're the one for me. 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 All them girls have been lining for me. Drop the little dirty whining for me. You're the only one that I see. You're the only one for me. All them girls have been lining for me. Drop the little dirty whining for me. You're the only one that I see. You're the only one for me.
And I tell you my God, you know my style, you know the chance, then it's all up, baby. If you say you get the man, then you wanna try, you could go die, baby. It's been a landslide for a long time, but then no one believe me. All up when I come back, try one try, but you do have me for easy. Who bad enough, who do it like her? Waking up all my cellular hurt. Your back and your spine, I got it go break, carry my weight. Because I'm way too big. Way too big to be with you. With you. Because I'm way too smart. Way too smart to be with you. Try with you. Because I'm way too cool. Way too cool to be losing my cool. Judy, Judy, I bring the thunder like Moody. They say I'm on drugs, see me on Moody. But everything the dogs, they know they do me. That's not because me, I be spooty. Before my life changed, I lived in the movie. Used to roll with the shank just like Julie. Still popcorn cause I'm unruly. Beat my case cause I'm hungry. Took my place at the shine bumper of the Nigerian Rudy. Because I'm way too big. Way too big to be with you. With you. Because I'm way too smart. Way too smart to be with you. Try. And I tell you my God, you know my style, you know the chance, then it's all up, eBay. If you say you get the man, then you wanna try, you go die, baby. We've been a landslide for a long time, but then no one believe me. All of them come find you one time, but you do have it easy.
Tempo.
Check it, baby, yo. Mad. Check. Oh, baby, I'm on my way. Give me back to back. Mix it up, yeah, that formula. The loving what you give me, make it no decline. And every time I grind, now you lay my mind, yo. Oh, you my ride or die. And anybody we won't put us on the die. I do anything, I go run 10,000 miles. And every time I grind, now you lay my mind, yo. Oh, yeah, give me love, make I rock your body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Make I give you love, make you rock my body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jackal for. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jackal for. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Oh baby, make I tell you what you mean to me. There's never gonna be another you to me. And when you pull up, baby, in a lingerie, I wanna hold you close, make we gone, buddy. You be like medicine when I be feeling sick. I love you, baby, this is honesty. And when you pull up, baby, in a lingerie, I wanna hold you close, make we gone. Oh yeah, give me love, make I rock your body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Make I give you love, make you rock my body, make you go, go, go. Make you whine out for me, make you show, show, show. Plenty loving for me, baby. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jackal for. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco. Sucker, 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 sucker. Wake up, my jackal for. Loco, 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 loco. Loco, 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 loco.
Make you know they bother with me. Your father, what you wanna acquire with me? Stutter, stutter like a mother. I do not like it when you call me. When you be the flex, with them girls up peace, you the flex. You can't the vex, on top saying no one stress, yeah. So when you gonna understand, you can never be the man I stand. You can never be the one for me. Take away your trouble and leave me be. Away, 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 away. Take all your trouble. Away, 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 away. Take it, take it, take it. Away, 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 away. understand I won't be the girl that used to cry about a man that never came through. He did lie all the time. Let's talk about a fool, yeah. Yeah, you're talking while you're dripping, yeah. You keep talking, so when you gonna understand? You can never be the man I stand. You can never be the one for me. Take away your trouble and leave me be. Away, 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 away. Take all your trouble. Away, 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 away. Take it, take it. Away, 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 Afa, tell me why you wanna call me when you know that you're not my type. This ain't gonna offend me. No need to explain, please. This ain't gonna offend me. Away, 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 away. Take all your trouble. Away, 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 away. Take it away from me. Away, away, away.
Welcome back. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. And yes, you thought we were gone away. No, we're still right here. And yes, we still have more stories to discuss with you guys. So the next story is Lala Akindoju, who has warned upcoming actors to stay clear of the veteran actor. The veteran actor now is Durudai Jaye, who shared on Instagram and began to gain momentum among upcoming actors. In the trending post dated January 29, the veteran actor asked upcoming actors to pay 35,000 naira to join his movie project. According to Akindoju, Durudai's actions were fraudulent, as actors need not to pay to audition or get a role in Nollywood. And I'm just wondering, are actors hungry now? No, it's not funny. I didn't know. Because in all my life, I've never seen where, you actually go public to tell people. It
confidently,
happens.
We can
Yeah, it happens. It happens in the back, in the other room. You just come and you be like, okay, I can get you a movie role, pay me 100,000, pay me 20,000. But when you now start doing it with your full chest, like, now it's like you don't even have to be qualified. You don't even need to know how to do it. Just as long as you have 35,000. Yes, that baby girl.
I don't understand his rationale towards making that kind of decision, to be honest. Like, how did you think about defending this behavior? Like, what do you want to say that the money is for? To buy the papers?
Yeah, he was trying to defend himself. Like, he's going to be like a mentor, teach you what to do. Like, nah.
But getting you a role, isn't that like reaching? Like, think about it. Saying I will give you a role. Do you get, like, if you say, okay, for an audition, for a...
Token doesn't get cast.
Lala?
Nah.
No, not Lala.
The guy.
Nah, he's still something, at least with the African magic Yoruba scene.
Okay. Yeah. I don't watch that.
We can't knock him off. He's still trending in that aspect, Yoruba movies.
Okay. When last did you see him in a Yoruba movie?
This weekend. I watched the movie and
he was in the movie. And it's a recent Yoruba movie.
What's
the title of the Yoruba movie?
Oh Lord, please don't let me remember. But I know
why is the movie horrible?
no, if the movie is I can't remember the name, but I checked the date.
I mean, we're not in the Yoruba scene, so we can't really argue this one. So if she said she's in there, then sure.
I'm definitely sure. But what I really want to talk about in this aspect
maybe there's
is
no
like,
money in that industry. I don't know.
No, we have those that are doing well in the Yoruba movie space. Come on. Have you seen Mercy Aigbe? Have you seen Toyin?
Even she's not really that pronounced.
Have you seen
who?
Yoruba?
No, Mercy Aigbe now, who you just mentioned right now.
Yeah? She's not that...
She's not really into Yoruba
but
anymore.
She's pronounced in the Nollywood space. She's
just
got
social
a new
media
Range
space.
Rover as well.
Wow.
It could be in social media space. I mean, that's bringing a lot of money.
Yeah, but Joe, it's very relevant in the social media space, especially with TikTok, and she's cashing out. And I think she's carrying her family along. Her son is a TikToker. Her daughter is a TikToker. She's a TikToker herself.
They're making a lot of money.
Big
time.
It's making a lot of sense. And all of them now brand influencers.
That's the business, family
That's
business.
The business.
I like
when
that.
are we going to start influencing brands?
Anywho.
My dear.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Yeah, about the story. So what he said that you have to have 33,000 naira, if I'm right? 35,000 naira before you can get a role. So are you trying to say talents and how good you are does not really, it's not more the criteria before they can give you a movie role? So if you're talented and you're good,
and you don't have
35,000 naira, that means you can't be in the movie. It doesn't really make sense, because I feel this thing should be based on talent and how good you are. It's not how much money. Anytime Dick and Harry can have 33,000 naira and not be talented and just pay you. So would you just put me there if I'm not showing you that, okay, I'm actually good?
I think what was even the bigger part of the story for me was the way Lala called him out. I think usually in the entertainment industry, you see how a lot of celebrities do not like to call out each other. If anything, in my opinion, I feel like it just made the wrong way. Like she can be doing too much.
Lala?
Yeah, in my opinion. There's just some things that I remember we've talked about her on this table. And she said something that was so offensive to me that long time ago. And I think
Lala is a sweetheart
that had
person.
just like registered in the back of my head. I don't know her personally, so I can't say she's a sweetheart or not. But the little times that she has been on this table for like hot topics or something that she had tweeted, I didn't really like where she was coming from. I can't remember now, but you remember the impression people lay on you. But this one for me made me have a newfound respect for her, because not only did she not just talk about it at the back of her table like the rest of the world had probably done since they saw his tweet, but she went ahead to even go on social media and really warn people, just to remind people again that even though this man is trying to normalize this corrupt behavior, I don't know, I just really respected everything that she did about that. And I hope people can do better. This has to bring me to
Femi Leye, who was also on our table a few weeks ago, where he said he's not doing that. OAPs, especially on radio, and not doing him a favor by playing his music, right? That he gets DMs of people saying, "Oh, you have to pay me a certain sum of amount for me to be able to play your video, for me to be able to play your songs on radio." And he's wondering, and I know that happens a lot with music videos as well. You get me? So I don't know. I just think we need to do better in the space where, and I think the problem is on the paying media personalities. Do you understand? Now, if they're getting paid what they deserve, then maybe payola will not be the order of the day. But you find
I wish you didn't bring music to this conversation, Sha, because I think that's very, very different. With the media space, from what I know, and at least I've gone through two different continents now of how the media space works. It is very normal to pay for what's it called? Airplay. Airplay costs money. It's not free business. Okay. And a lot of the times it is based on clout. So yeah, because I watched his video a lot and I know he was offended and but it didn't make that much sense because you don't know how the structure of the entertainment industry or even just media spaces work. Media mediums are not for free. Those papers in newspaper, every single word is paid for. Every single airtime is paid for. So just because I'm playing Chris Brown's song does not mean that I'm playing his song for free. He has enough clout to equate the monetary value I'll be charging you. You don't. So Femi is good and all of that, but if he doesn't have the monetary value that my company needs, I'm not going to play his song. I'd rather play a Nicki Minaj song that will give me enough audience to then make money to be able to play the other people's song. It's his business. So let's not
So you shouldn't bring him in the same space with
yes.
All right, so we'll leave Durajai in a space and we're going to leave Femilea in a space. And leaving them in these spaces, we will be moving on to the next space, which is on Twitter handle Yvonne Jegede. Yvonne Jegede, who took to a Twitter handle and complained over a monthly period, cramps, menstruation, and how the pain is no longer bearable for her. According to her, her whole body is sore, and despite the fact that she has given birth already, the period cramp still disturbs her. Whoever came up with the BS talk, after a woman gives birth, her period cramp stops. This pain is getting unbearable. My entire body is sore. God help me, she wrote. And I think it's a lot of BS when, what's it called now? People come out and start telling you that, is it not just period? Come on, you've been doing this all your life. Is it really that painful? Now, I always have real life experiences, right? So I was in a friend's house.
So I was like, okay. I was like, is there something you want to tell us? You menstruate?
So my girlfriend has serious cramps, yeah? She's probably won't walk up the stairs, and sometimes I have to carry her up the stairs when she's on a period, right? Okay. So when I see a friend, and I usually chill in his bedroom, like upstairs, not downstairs in the living room. So we went there together, and she didn't want to go upstairs. And then when I got into my friend's room, we were there, you know, a few other friends, and we're just chilling. They're like, where your babe? I was like, she's downstairs. You get, and they're like, what's wrong? Why is she not coming upstairs? I said, oh, she's on a period. And the girl was like, oh, that's in the pain. And we all just turned at the same time, like, dude, what's going on? The same reaction you guys are. And he was like, no, I've dated different girls. Some they pain, some they can do everything. And he actually gave a hand. We just started laughing like, this guy has really been around. Do you understand? So I think that's the level of sensitivity I think every man should have over. And that just taught me a lesson, because at the end of the day, I even, that it was my girlfriend, I wasn't that sensitive. Do you understand? But the way he was so sensitive, like he felt the, you know that thing that somebody told you about an accident, and you just feel it like, that must have been painful. Like that was his reaction. So I think a lot of men should be more sensitive. So I pass on the baton to you guys.
I see why some people actually disregard this period issue. Like different females experience different symptoms. Some females, they don't feel a single pain when they're on their period, and some they'll feel as if they want to die. I have a friend that anytime she's on her period, she used to vomit blood. I'm serious. I even say it was abnormal. She went to the doctor, and they said it's completely normal, that people just have different symptoms with their own. So I just feel like what Ife just said right now, I think people should just be sensitive about it. Because I had an argument with someone that was like, people and girls that complain about period cramps are weak and everything. I almost tore his head off. Like, you don't know what's going through. You just assume. Because I don't think anyone can relate except you go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to even search now for the term for people who have bad menses, and it's called endometriosis is what it's called. And the first time I heard about it was this girl, Hailey. Do you know Hailey, the American singer?
Yes.
She's the one that brought it to life. Now, everybody knows the condition, like, that you can have really bad menses, like, for example, the bleeding of blood. But I've never really heard of the term endometriosis until that lady talked about it, and how, like, you might not even have that as a full-blown condition. Like, she's had, like, ever since she saw her period, she's had it really bad, and she's probably going to have it bad till menopause, right? But some people can have that once in a while. So you could even be on the lucky side where like your period isn't crampy, and then 1 month you have it really bad as well. So I like what you said about like not that until you have it, no one can really explain it. It's not even just a gender thing that people take for granted, menstrual periods. Like I know a lot of women that on the good side who don't get people on the bad side. Like they'll be like, guys, it's not just menses, like relax. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that had it really bad. And I think the older I get, that have it really bad. And I think the older I get, the better it is. Like first 2-3 years, when I started seeing my period, there was no school, no exam. I'm missing even if it's like life depends on it. I cannot attend it because my waist is basically unmovable. Like I have to just be in lying down position for a long time. But as you get older, like sometimes I can't come to work because of it. And then some months are really good. And then you can start to know yourself a bit better. Like, if I eat well this month, then it's nice. Or if I work out a bit more, then it's nice. So I think there's those variations as well. But what she said was very discouraging to me because I was honestly under the impression that when you have kids, you would honestly feel
Some people
better.
actually feel better. That just says not everyone has the same.
Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of personal stories, my mom even had this conversation with me one time because I told her like, I'm not at work that my period. She was like, I don't understand you people though. That when she was younger, you cannot tell their bosses that you can't come to work because of your period, and I was like, yeah, your generation, you people idolized suffering. You people like that. You people idolize the women that went through the worst in their marriages. You idolize. Like, we don't have that anymore. Like this world is a lot more liberating. And let's not lie that even in your own generation, the women who came to work when they had bad periods were unproductive anyway, and they'll be at the bathrooms crying the whole time.
So what's the point?
But they had to show up at work. That I work on TV. If I'm not good, then I'm not good. Like I can't pretend. So yeah.
Alrighty, I don't know. This just takes me to the video that was making the round sometime last week of the guy who runs his wife's water.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it so he puts water in the bottle.
Yeah.
Puts a kilo behind her. She doesn't like to swallow pills, so he puts it in a banana. All of that.
Unfortunately, 80% of guys, they don't have that time.
Huh?
You think so?
I feel like guys, they don't really
what?
I was
having a conversation with somebody yesterday that the fact that you don't get certain things, right, don't think that is the standard.
Fair, but let's not lie that we can generalize that Nigerian men are not
patient
as patient as that.
I don't run bath water.
Okay.
I don't put pills in banana. I don't, and sometimes I can even be like, oh, it's too much. Like, I can be like that.
So that we're not saying
at
that
least 80% of the time, I'm caring, trying to say I'm sorry, trying to put a pillow behind you, trying to give you a massage, trying to make sure you're comfortable. You know, trying to do the basics.
But are you going to honestly pretend
every single month?
Wait. Are you even saying that because you always claim to have years in your shoulders, right? Are you trying to tell me that you don't know that in Nigeria the consensus is that Nigerian men in general don't show that much PDA?
I know.
Okay,
I know. I'm just telling you that.
I fear.
Do not generalize it. So there's some of us that are still very...
Generalization, generalization does not mean that every single person falls under that category. Generalization means majority fall under that category. Majority of Nigerian men don't fall under that category.
Nigerian men?
Yes, it's only the younger generation that started to...
Are you on the same page yet?
Yes. What do you mean educated? Nigerians are educated. We're one of the most educated countries, black country in Africa.
Do about you being
educated. Has nothing to do with education. It depends on
about
exposure.
your personality.
And see, most born and raised Nigerian men
I don't know,
are not
there's
as
something
patient.
called BB that happens to men. Do you guys give it a lot of thoughts as well?
I've spoken to a lot of grown, mature men, and they tell me that thing is a scam.
It's not a scam.
They tell me it's a scam. They tell me it's a scam that is just for...
Please join this conversation and tell us if you ever have BB as a man by, send a message to 090-6000-5719.
I want to know.
If you're too young, you probably won't know what BB is, but yes, I'm sure a lot of men have picked up on what BB is, and a lot of women do it to men, and it is not a scam. It is not a hoax, ladies and gentlemen, and coronavirus is not a hoax either. And on that note, it is a wrap. Thank you for watching. Join the conversation on social media with the hashtag #TeaTime or Twitter us at Plus TV Africa. Remember, you can catch up on our previous episodes, including this one, and all our exclusive content by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. You can watch Tea Time on Alta TV and in London on Ben Television. A big thank you will go out to my co-anchors, Ifelua Omai and Miss Popola, and of course the entire production team. Thank you for watching Plus TV Africa's Tea Time. My name is Ife Oshunkeye.
Again on the show where we feature individuals with compelling stories you will consider not the regular, not the usual, not also the normal day-to-day life stories. We are here to see female carpenter, Google, but first, safety measures.
My dad is an architect, so I've been around this. He loves carpentry. Like, he's always, since when I was small, I can remember him making stuff. So I will be around it, and then of course they will chase us back inside the house. They don't want nails to enter our legs. And he was more interested in the boys coming in, but that never happened. I have 3 brothers, and none of them are interested at all. Yeah, so he was more interested in that, but that didn't work out. My mom was very adamant about we had to go to school, we had to finish school, we had to go to college, we had to finish college. So I went to medical school, I finished very well. I graduated and married from Lutz. Yeah, so, and then after, I said I wanted to come into, you'll be looking at them thinking that that's it, but that's not it. So I do it, I know almost every aspect of this now. I even take classes in the morning, I'm teaching people how to do this, so yeah. So that was how it started. This is 5 years now, and I think I'm doing a really good job. I still do consultations sometimes with some of my colleagues, but apart from that, this is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing. You see, look at me, I'm fit. Like, it keeps me fit, so I'm happy about that. But Stereotypes. When I started, it was very hard. I was arrogant in the sense that, I'm just coming from medical school. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me do this. But you would think that it is the artisans or the uneducated people that are my problem. No. I would go to see clients, highly educated, and they would look down like, this is a girl. What is she saying? What can she tell me about this? No. So I learned in the beginning that even when I'm going for meetings, I have to take men with me. So I could be telling these clients that this is how we're going to do it. He'll be looking at the man, I'm saying, so this is how I go. I didn't mind as far as I was getting the money, right? That's the most important thing. But with time, your work tends to speak for you. And then when they finally see the face, after they've gotten, like 3-4 job friends, they don't really mind anymore because, your work is good and it speaks for you. So that was a major challenge. I lost half my staff at least when I started because nobody wants to take commands from her. There's a difference between an older woman with kids and they're saying, my friend, do that, but when you're young and you're saying, my friends, do that, and these are people that are not used to it, so it's our culture. Yeah, so I lost them. I said, it's either you do exactly what I say, you get out. And yeah, I actually lost. So we started rebuilding after that, and since then I've had great workers. I have, you have some bad ones, but then, filter. So that was another challenge, getting good staff. Girls want to come and work, which is great. I encourage it, I love it. But then I noticed that when I hire women, in the beginning, you see the men, no, don't carry, I will help you. No, I'm not paying her for you to help her. But after a while, of course, you saw some women there. So after a while, they started doing it by themselves. So I encourage women to come. I love when I see women doing these things. And you still look good even after. Yeah, because please, this is not how I look. After this, I clean up really nice. You still look good after. So it doesn't show. It keeps you fit, keeps you healthy, you're happy. Yeah, so we've gone through ups and downs. The lights issue, everybody is facing that, of course. And our factory runs on diesel every day, so you can imagine how much we spend. But apart from that, we're going up, so I'm happy. So 5 years. I've gained experience. I've gained humility, yes. I've gained muscle mass. I've gained strength. Of course, we've grown so much. We're selling a whole lot more. I have gained knowledge in the sense that I can now teach others what I know. 5 years of experience is a lot, especially when you're hands-on. I'm still learning from him, and it's a struggle. I have gained tact. Tact in the sense that I know better how to deal with people. I don't talk down to anyone, I don't talk up to anyone. I can deal with artisans, I can deal with executives, everybody at the same level. So yeah, we've gained so much. I'm happy on the journey. It's tiring. There are days that I do not want to do this, honestly, but I'm up at 6 a.m. every morning. I am. Drag myself out of bed, come and do this. And then it's not just this. If it's just this, I'm happy. Because this, I can do it, and I'm listening to music, I'm there. But then you have to deal with the managerial aspect. You have to deal with human beings. You have to deal with clients. And I love my clients, but some clients are very difficult. You have to deal with Lagos State, tax. So yeah, when you deal with all this, you have to try not to get hardened. Because that is the next thing, especially as a woman. You get so hard, you're angry, you're coming to work, you're like, but you have to still maintain your femininity. You have to be happy. You have to find happiness even in what you're doing. You have to come and start joking with your workers, even when they've got you so upset, you do. So yeah, I've gained all this. I'm still learning, don't get me wrong. There are some days I still come out angry, but I won't trade this for anything else. At first, it was hard. It was hard to balance both. It was very hard because I found this hard to just detach from work and focus on either relaxing or hanging out with friends, or I enjoy reading a lot, like reading books. So then I was focused on building, and the process of building, especially when you're just starting, is always very taxing. So I could break down for like a week and I would still be working, I'll be sick. My temperature would be, it was bad. But I'll still be working because I felt, this is what everybody should do in order for them to, succeed in life. So yeah. But then I had good friends. My family is amazing. We fight, yes, as all families do, but they're amazing people. Like they would force you to relax. My sister used to seize my phones because, you know, I'm on my phone thinking, how are we selling on Konga really well? She would seize my phone. She would be like, no. They will hide my phones from me. My friends would come, force me to take a shower, force me to dress up and go out. And then they would hold my phones because I had to, you know, like just be in the moment, have good conversation and relax. And, you know, at that point, I thought I was wasting my time. I'm like, why am I here? I'm not making money doing this. I'm not growing doing this. Why am I here? But then I noticed when you go through that process of relaxation, when you come back to work, like you are 100 times more productive. You are freer, you're calmer, you can think clearer. I tried to balance it now. So in the beginning it was hard, but now I take like 2 trips every year by God's grace, you know. So by God's grace, so like I take like 2 trips. And on the trips, I am fully off work. I don't care if something has blown here. When I come back, we'll deal with it. I've always been very, you know, one of those people, epicos in school. I've always been that. And people didn't really like me because I was also very sports oriented. You know, I have awards from Milo. I have over 20 medals. You know, that very sports oriented. I played basketball, football. That was how school was. It was high grades, highly effective at school. I was sports prefect, went to school. Next thing, I was sports prefect again, Milo Awards. Then university, university was interesting because I was meant to go into medicine. But I said I didn't want to go into medicine. My mom was very adamant, you know, African, I love my mom. So she wanted me to go into medicine. I said I didn't want to go. I want to do something more sports-oriented, you know. Physiotherapy is perfect. So I went into physical therapy, that's physio. And I didn't really like the constraints. I went to Lutz. Lutz is an amazing school. They will teach you really well, but we're still learning things that if you go to other schools, they're not doing this anymore. We're learning about microwaves. Nobody is using microwaves anymore, you know. I get passionate when I think of it. So so I went through school. I had alterations with my lecturers, you know, because I was smart. If I was stupid, it would have been better. But I was smart, so I could tell you, no, what I read was wrong. I'm the kind of person that will argue with you in class, and nobody likes that. And now I'm smart enough to know I should not have done that. So school was fun. I used to go for parties. I had a very balanced life at school, I did. And then projects, graduation. So I graduated with merit. That was top 3 in my class, which was top 3 in my set, which was really good. And then what else? Then I went for youth service. Everybody was surprised I said the 3 weeks orientation camp. Because they always just believed I was soft, so I would just escape, you know, that kind of thing. But no, so I stayed 3 weeks. It was fun. I had fun with everybody. And then after that was my practice. After my practice, So after 6 years of physical therapy, medicine, and I decided to quit. I didn't quit. No, I didn't decide to quit. I didn't quit, but I practiced for a year. So after that, so that's 7 years, 7 whole years of my life. So I practiced and I did 7 years. And then I decided to come into this. My mother was against it. She was fully against it. She said, no, you should practice. I already had 3 offers. 3 offers, all government hospitals, really good places. And she was like, I should just get the job. I should just do it. But I couldn't see myself doing that. I really couldn't. I couldn't see myself going to work and then doing the same thing I was complaining about, seeing 30 patients a day and not helping. And I was interested in this because you can come here in the night. It's quiet, it's beautiful. You're listening to music. I'm playing like old school. I'm very old school. So you're playing like old school jams. This is something like Michael Bolton. And then you're making things that people will use for 10, 20 years of their life. I enjoyed it so much because, you know, like the first thing I made and I sold it, I was so happy. It's like, oh, I created this thing and then someone is going to use it and enjoy it. So I was so happy. And after that, I knew I couldn't go back. I just couldn't. I came here, I started doing this. And then my father is, he's of the older generation. So they didn't understand social media. They didn't understand that nobody goes to stores anymore. So, of course, it was me. And then my brother came into this, that is Olisa. He came in and we started setting up social media. We started setting up Conga. So we were selling, consistently. And then they were so excited, like, okay, maybe you guys can come in now. Like, okay, yeah, so we were selling and then we came in and we are doing really well. So, yeah. So even though my mother was against it, now that she sees, she's like, yeah, Bugo, so how is, everything's good? I said, no, didn't you just travel? Everything is going fine. Yeah, so yeah, and we're growing and we're getting better. And please, I am a Christian, so, I'm very adamant about that. Christianity has taught me so much, not in the sense of religion, in the sense of getting closer to God. So every time even before this, I pray. I want to say the right things, not just for me to look good, but for me to help somebody or touch somebody out there. So I'm very adamant about praying before meetings. I could just be walking, I'll be talking to myself and I'm speaking in tongues. So yeah, okay. So this was one of the first things I made. This is, of course, this is not the original one, but yeah. So this is the Jella series. We name all our products. We name them, Jella, Montag, whatever name. So this is the Jella series. I was so excited because it was very simple. We sell this for 7,000. So it's cheap. Okay, or, pretty affordable, yeah. So we've sold over 100 of this. So just imagine you made this and you sold over 100. I was really happy. I even made like a video on how normal people could make it, and everybody was so excited. Like, oh, okay, I'll try it. Of course, I'm sure most people didn't try it, but I'm happy they rather buy from us. Yeah, so yes, I was excited about this. This was good because we're trying to make our furniture more affordable. We tell people that our furniture lasts 20, 30 years. Most people in our generation are not interested in that. They want something that they will change every 5 years. So this will still last 20, 30 years and it was still very affordable. So I was really happy about this. So this was my first one.
You follow your passion. If you have because a lot of people nowadays, a lot of young people study to please their parents. They study courses to please their parents. They study courses that are popular. But when you find what gives you joy, follow it. I have a son who is into baking and he's studying engineering. So it's normally a conflict. Normally, I would have said, let him leave his engineering and concentrate fully on baking. But as I said, passion is not gender-based. I won't say I wish you were a boy, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. It gives me joy. Just looking back, seeing her handle things, doing things, some things I cannot even do.
Okay, so I'm a carpenter and I love it. Okay. And I know that this is not your regular 9 to 5, but this is my life and I love it so much.
And still here on the show, we bring you the story of Omozo Ehige, who left the world of banking, safe and secured job for what she learned how to do as a child and grew into as second nature, hairstyling precisely. Today, with her other sisters, All Naturals is born.
I've been natural for 19 years, since 1999. I keep playing that my hair will soon go to university and I'll do a birthday party when it turns 21. But the thing is, I keep cutting my hair because, I don't know, maybe it's I don't know. I always grow it up to a certain length and then I cut it. So right now, it really should be longer than this, but it's not. So I think this year, maybe I won't cut it. So by the time it's 21, it should be much longer than this. All Naturals was started in 2009 as a blog by 3 sisters who all had natural hair and were in all their different spheres of life. So we were answering questions on how to care for our natural hair, how to care for the natural hair of our daughters, because my older sister has 2 daughters with natural hair as well. And the salon started in 2013. Most people think All Naturals started in 2013, but no, it started as a blog in 2009. All Naturals is actually derived from the O sisters. My sisters and I were popularly known as the O sisters because all our names begin with O, and so we have natural hair. So it just progressed naturally to O Naturals. I started off in financial services. I started working in a cash office, and from there I went into working in a cooperative. I went into private banking, and then I went full-time into All Naturals. However, while I was in my financial services career, I was still working as a professional hairstylist on the side. And in 2009, I now went into professional hairstyling of natural hair. At the time, natural hair wasn't a big deal. There weren't many schools teaching stylists how to care for natural hair. And a lot has changed now. So I was in banking, I was in financial services for about 18 years before I transitioned fully to working with All Naturals. So I left the financial services industry in 2015, January 2015, and have been working with All Naturals since then. And I left after 18 years because it was time. It was time. All Naturals needed a lot of attention at the time for the organization to be able to grow to what it is now. We are not where we want to be. We still have a lot to do, but I wouldn't have been able to grow the business from where it was in 2015 to where it is now if I had been working simultaneously at another organization. I went into natural hair care because my younger sister went natural, and I was a professional hairstylist at the time, so I was helping her care for her natural hair. At the time, there wasn't much information about natural hair, so really we were doing trial and error. And we would ask my mom questions about different products. And my mom would tell us about coconut oil, ori, which is shea butter now, which the world knows as shea butter. So that was what we were using, and I would weave her hair, I would style it differently. We used thread and those kind of things. And as I was doing that, she was getting a lot of compliments, a lot of questions outside, asking her, who did your hair? How did you take care of your hair? And she would direct them to me. I was working at a salon at the time. So after working at the salon during the day, I would be answering questions. People would be at my house. I would go doing mobile hair styling for various people. So there was a need. There really was a need. And we felt that we had the capacity to solve that problem and to meet that need. And that was how we decided to go into natural hair. I had some apprehension before leaving financial services completely, before leaving paid employment completely. I was afraid, I was unsure. Should I even say I was confused? But I was not, I will say this, I didn't have any doubts that All Naturals would succeed. I don't know if those two contradict each other. There was no doubt in my mind that the organization would do well. This business idea would do well. But my concern was, okay, so you will now leave banking and then you will be doing a job that you don't know how frequently you're going to get paid. You don't know when you'll get paid. A customer is going to come. You have no idea. So that apprehension was there. That fear was there. Will natural hair, will a salon that cares for strictly natural hair succeed? And I guess, well, like I said, in 2015, ending of 2014, November, a good friend of mine told me that I should write my resignation and prepare to move into focusing on my business so that my business would grow. So I wrote that resignation in November in September, handed it in November. and actually left in 2015. So there wasn't really, I had always been in there. So my heart had always been in there. So there wasn't really a definite time where I said, okay, I'm going to do hair now and I'm not going to do financial services. And to be fair, I still have some dabbles in financial services now. The initial challenges for setting up Au Naturals, honestly, no word of a lie, would be, first of all, us, the ones who came up with the idea. Just, I guess, encouraging ourselves to go ahead to do it. My older sister is a medical doctor. My younger sister is a writer. I was in financial services. So we had careers in different areas. So we were really our first challenge, kind of believing our own vision and putting our vision into putting it down on paper and sharing it with other people. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge was, of course, finding a space. Where are we going to set up the salon and all of that? The best moment so far in my career has been expanding the business to where it is now. We've expanded from 4 chairs to 14 chairs. And in my mind, I think that's growth. Regardless of how small it may seem to somebody else, it is growth. You've grown from being, small, very small, to, medium or small now. So instead of smallest, you're now small or smaller, whichever way you want to look at it. But that was very exciting. I remember sitting down on my styling chair, looking out the window, how cliche, looking out the window, and thinking to myself, if everything were to scatter today, I would not be upset. My favorite part of running Au Naturals is creating styles and interacting with my staff and customers. I can shout at my staff. They know that, but they know that we have a goal and an objective. So it works out well. This most requested hairstyle in the salon, I think right now, is combination. Typically when we bring out a new hairstyle, a lot of people want to try the hairstyle out. A lot of people want to get it done and all of that. So right now, combination is our most popular hairstyle. And we spice it up with a little bit of roll and talk, with a little bit of extensions. But right now, combination is leading the pack. Nigerian hair through the decades is very, very interesting. I'm actually a fan of the history of hair and the progression, changes of hairstyling and hair care in Nigeria. Some things may seem to have changed. But we still use ori, we still use coconut oil, we still use avocado to take care of our hair. Our grandmothers did it, our mothers did it, and we are doing it now. The styles for the different festivals, for the different events, weddings, childbirth, deaths, Osogbo festival, the hair styles at that festival alone is amazing. Even the Argungu festival. So hair in Nigeria is rich. We are trendsetters. We take from other places and we turn it around to make it ours. So much so that people think it originated from us here. The local techniques, rather indigenous techniques like threading, DD, we incorporate those even in our hairstyling today and even in Au Naturals. So it is rich, it is interesting, it's mesmerizing. And one thing about Nigerian women is we are bold when it comes to style, whether it's clothing, makeup, or hair. If I were to go back in time, I would do many things differently. First thing, I would not delay. We got the place, start. Just start. All the mental gymnastics and somersaulting doesn't get you anywhere, So I would start earlier. I would have started the natural hair salon earlier than we did, actually. And I would actually have written more things down, structured more, Sometimes people think it's difficult to structure what is not in existence, but I think it's important to create what is not in existence and you kind of grow into it as opposed to waiting for things to happen because you become reactionary. So with the new projects that we're working on, we're being more proactive. So we are structuring now, we are planning and strategizing for now and for the future. So those two things I would do differently. We would start immediately and we would create what it is we wanted to see. Hello, I'm Omozo Ehige. This is not your 9 to 5, but it's my life.
When we have organizations as reputable as the UN do this, it discourages the minute percentage of people who want to do right.
Is he aware that you're paying for electricity from your 30,000 naira minimum wage?
400 billion procurement, they will bring your own share to Ndokwa. Some contractors have made money. At the same time, Ndokwa people will still die.
They will expire before they get to
diseases.
It's so painful.
It's exasperating, you know, outrightly frustrating.
When they actually come, look you in the face and say, we are not aware.
The worst part of it is that you have Nigerians who say they support the president, who are suffering from partisan obscurantism. They are completely blind. They do not know what to do obscurantism.
Before we break, obscurantically.
Contrary to popular belief, corona is not a hoax. The virus is real. Be responsible. Wear a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water and avoid crowded places. Maintain physical distancing. Be responsible. Together, we can overcome the pandemic.
Well, many thanks for joining us on Plus News Update for this hour. I am Justin Akadonye. Now, the Publicity Secretary of the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Afenifere Yinka Udumakin, has slammed the presidency with a claim that it is always the first to defend herdsmen anytime they kill people. Udumakin also slammed some northern leaders for only finding their voice when the victims of herdsmen attack rise up in resistance. He said this in an interview on Monday, pointing out that there would have been a war in the country by now. Now, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has inaugurated a 36-month inter-religious council to help foster peaceful coexistence in the state. He further directed the council to support the peace-building agency in finding a lasting solution to renewed herder farmers' clashes in some parts of the state, such as Bassa, where there were reports that people have been killed in attacks and reprisals. Lalong charged them to promote the culture of interfaith dialogue as a viable mechanism for peaceful coexistence, understanding, and religious tolerance in Plateau State. He urged them to work with different faith communities and other organizations that operate across faith lines to expand respect for religious pluralism and freedom of religion or belief in Plateau State. Nigerian youths have threatened to hold a fresh protest at Lekki Tollgate over plans to reopen it for operations. It was gathered that they have begun to mobilize on social media with the hashtag Revolution Now and hashtag Occupy Lekki Tollgate are trending at #1 and 3 on Twitter. Youth have also shared pictures and banners to create awareness about the protest. The protest plans come after the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Saturday approved the reopening of the toll gate, where Nigerian soldiers had allegedly killed peaceful protesters on October 20th last year. Now, the causes of most fires include erratic power surges, illegal electrical connections, improper electrical fittings, substandard electrical materials, and use of indoor generators. Plus TV correspondent Olasunkomi Ogumoko reports that some Nigerian youth in Ekiti State are advocating regular fire drills in schools, offices, and markets, which will enhance effective prevention, detection, and escape techniques. The walk around the market in Ado-Ekiti was in collaboration with the Federal Fire Service, the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA), and other safety agencies in the state. The experts say, aside the need for orientation and constant education, Nigerians should learn to insure their properties.
Their sensitization is very important. They shouldn't own fire outbreak and reoccurrence of fire outbreak.
But our major problem in Ekiti State is that some people that they have millions of naira worth of goods, they fail to get simple, portable fire extinguisher in order to tackle the fire at the initial stage.
Otoken Health, now President Muhammad Buhari, says the Chinese support has greatly strengthened Nigeria's effort against COVID-19 with close coordination and mutual trust. Meantime, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he is confident that both the AstraZeneca and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines help prevent deaths and grave illness, and that the medicine will slowly gain the upper hand over the novel coronavirus.
No doubt that vaccines generally are going to offer the way out, and with every day that goes by, you can see that medicine is slowly getting the upper hand over the disease. We believe that our vaccines are effective in combating serious disease and death against all variants. But the most important thing is that the vaccinologists, the scientists, are getting ever faster and more expert in coming up with the new vaccines and the variants of the vaccines, if you like, that enable us to defeat the virus.
And away from health, marchers on the lines of Somali opposition parties have proposed the creation of a National Council of Lawmakers, opposition leaders and civil societies to govern the war-ravaged country after the president's term expired on Monday. The opposition alliance said they would reject any attempt to extend the term of President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed. They also added that an election schedule should hold soon and suggested the council could elect a transitional leader to govern until a new president can be chosen by lawmakers. Moving on now, Myanmar's junta leader has called on the public to prioritize facts and not feelings, and said an election would be held and power handed to the winning party. In his first address since a coup a week ago, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing said the junta was different to previous military government. He reiterated there were irregularities in last year's election that were ignored and said no organization was above the law. He made no mention of ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Now, Britain's envoy says it has submitted a request for a special session of the UN Human Rights Council to address the crisis in Myanmar, where the military seized power a week ago. Police want protesters to disperse or face force to stifle the demonstrations against the coup and the arrest of civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi, whose National League for Democracy won the November election. The generals had earlier tried to justify their takeover on the grounds of election fraud and had promised a new poll. Ambassador Julian Braithwaite told an organizational meeting of the Geneva Forum that it was making the request together with the European Union.
The United Kingdom would like to inform all colleagues that together with the European Union,
we have submitted a request for a special session on the human rights implications of the crisis in Myanmar with the support of 19 additional council members. This is in response to the state of emergency imposed in Myanmar and the arbitrary detention of democratically elected politicians and civil society by the military. This has grave implications for human rights in the country.
Let's talk business now.
The United Kingdom would like to inform.
Brent oil prices on Monday shot past $60 a barrel for the first time in more than a year. On Monday, with investors growing increasingly optimistic about demand as the global economy recovers from the coronavirus pandemic. The commodity climbed 1.26% to $60.19 a barrel, its highest since January last year, as asset market rallied on the back of vaccine rollout, slowing virus infections, and hopes that President Joe Biden's huge stimulus proposal will be passed by U.S. lawmakers. Crude has been on the rise for weeks as Biden pushes his $1.9 trillion rescue package, which includes big cash handouts and a hike in the minimum wage. In entertainment news, Nigerian social media stars Ikorodu Boys have been nominated for the favorite African social media star category at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. The Ikorodu Boys is a Nigerian online comedy group that recreates and mimics multi-million-dollar music videos, Hollywood movie trailers, and epic pictures. Last year, Ikorodu Boys drew the attention of the producers of the Hollywood movie Extraction 2. The Russell brothers are following the remake of the movie trailer, which features Chris Hemsworth. In a tweet by the Russell brothers, they expressed excitement at the remake and invited Ikorodu Boys to the world premiere of their Netflix action film sequel. And on sports news now, the Qatari 2022 World Cup organizers have insisted that matches will be staged in stadiums operating at 100% capacity, even as the global fight against coronavirus drags on. In Tokyo, organizers of this year's rescheduled Olympics have insisted the tournament will go ahead, but infectious diseases experts question the safety of hosting it before the virus is comprehensively defeated, and speculation is rife that they could be called off. If the Olympics fall, the 2020 World Cup being staged in the Middle East for the first time would be the next major global sporting event to face the scrutiny of its virus strategy and safety plans. And that's Plus News Update for this hour. For more update, follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We will return at 9:30 with a comprehensive package. I am Justin Akadonye. Many thanks for watching.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bukky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500
naira they collect them.
If you no talk, they go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria with 351,861 hectares of land, is the authentic home of every tribe and tongue in Nigeria. The state, though small in landmass, is controversially the most populous state in the country. One of the neighborhoods in the state is Obalende, located in Etiosa local government area. The area is strategically a historic site because before the relocation of administrative capital from Lagos to Abuja, it was the seat of power of the military head of state, the Dodon Barrack. Historically, a Royal West African Frontier Force, predominantly Hausa men, were initially camped on the land where the famous King's College is situated. Then there was a need for the use of the land, which translates to the place where the king drove us to. Obalende, though crowded, is famous for its nightlife and for its suya sport, with a junction popularly called Suya Junction. For ease of administration, former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, created additional 37 local council development areas from the existing 20 local council areas. So the current Obalende is carved out under Ikoyi Obalende Local Council Development Area. Ikorodu town is another historic location in Lagos, located in the northeast area of the state along the Lagos Lagoon and shares a boundary with Ogun State. Currently, the town houses Ikorodu local government area and 5 local council development areas. Kabiru Shotobi is the king of Ikorodu, traditionally known as Ayogbunre of Ikorodu, who ascended the throne from October 24, 2015. The name Ikorodu came about from people whose ancestors descended from the Remo stock of Yoruba tribe who came to settle on a plateau and named it Ikorodu, a shortened word from Oko Odu, which literally means Odu, farm. The current metro area population of Ikorodu in 2021 is 989,000, a 5.44% increase from 2020. Trading, farming, and manufacturing are some of the things Ikorodu is known for. Ikeja is the capital of Lagos State, formerly called Akeja. It was named after a deity of the Awori people of Ota, who originally settled there. The area was invaded for slaves until the mid-19th century. Ikeja, an abbreviation meaning of Ikorodu and Ekpe joint administration, was coined by colonial administrators for ease of administration. It is the official seat of the governor of the state, where the state secretariat is also located. It is also where the domestic and international airports are located. Its population as of 2006 census is 330,196. Ikeja is home to one of West Africa's largest gadget markets, popularly known as Computer Village, and home to a shopping mall known as Ikeja City Mall, which is the biggest mall in Lagos mainland and also has a cinema. These are some interesting places that make Lagos a world-class destination.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity
from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, Abi.
I am not hungry. If I need appointment, all I need to do is to start praising government.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say. The moment we stop having charlatans occupy political offices, we will curtail hate speech.
First of all, symptoms of COVID-19 in children are very clear. You talk about fever. Most of the times it could be low-grade fever, oftentimes continuous high-grade fever that is not relapsing with your regular paracetamols and your tepid sponging. One of the other symptoms, aside the respiratory symptoms that you have to look out for, is the stooling and vomiting. It's been seen to have very strong effect on stooling and vomiting in recent times among children. And when you do a culture for that, you don't see anything. There are no bacterial infections associated with it. So then, of course, the baseline is your respiratory findings, which you can have the regular cough, nasal discharge a few times, but dry cough more often in children. You want to watch out for temperature changes. You want to watch out for, loss of appetite and some catarrh for a long time, what we know as nasal discharge. Then you have to teach and model hygiene. All right, a good hygiene practice, using the hand sanitizer, washing your hand regularly, in fact, should be the stated one. And in cases of no water, you can teach them for hand sanitizers, especially those more than 60% alcohol. And then they don't necessarily have to use the face mask often, but you must teach the intake of good, clean water. And then more importantly is diet. You cannot just give any food now. You have to pay attention to vegetables, greens especially. You have to have a high protein diet and high calorie diet. For example, fat and oil is important for a child to improve their metabolic state, for protein to improve their growth rate, and more importantly, fruits to improve minerals and vitamins. And so you're not doing substitute of fruits, you're doing the real fruits, the vegetables, and things like pear, cashew nut, watermelon, cucumber. Very important for them right now. Pawpaw has been seen to be very effective, especially for vitamin E, and it contains the tocopherols, vitamin E and Co, which is very important for their immunity. So you're focusing on building their immunity, and you're focusing on them having a good diet. So a summary of what parents should do in preventing COVID-19 amongst your children is: 1, teaching and modeling good health or hygiene practices. You don't just teach it, let them watch you and let them be conversant with it. Secondly, you must monitor their health. Don't take anything for granted. Once you notice fever for more than 24 hours, you want to report to the hospital and be sure that that fever is not stepping its bound. The third and very important thing, you want to see that this child is eating appropriately, and appropriately not giving junks. You want to see that they're eating the right high protein diet, a good calorie, which is fat and oil, and lastly, vegetables, of course, fruits and vegetables, so that they can build their immunity. Don't necessarily do fruit substitute. Some people want to do multivitamin. Those are placebos. They're good, but it cannot take the place of the right diet pattern, greens and vegetables.
When we have organizations as reputable as the UN do this, it discourages the minute percentage of people who want to do right.
Is he aware that you're paying for electricity from your 30,000 naira minimum wage?
400 billion procurement, they will bring your own share to Ndokwa. Some contractors have made money. At the same time, Ndokwa people will still die.
They will expire before they get to
diseases.
It's so painful.
It's exasperating, outrightly frustrating.
When they actually come, look you in the face and say, we are not aware.
The worst part of it is that you have Nigerians who say they support the president, who are suffering from partisan obscurantism. They are completely blind. They do not know what to do. Obscurantism.
Before we break, oscurantically,
times when we see celebrities either on social media, television, or in person, we assume they have it all together, but we forget that they're also human. Well, here are some of the low points of some of your favorite celebrities.
Story. Once upon a time, there was a very young, agile, vivacious, spunky, unconventional Pikin you have all come to know and love as Brother Derele, Shewere, and all of the above. But you see, getting to this very point in time has been a story of hurdles. I have crossed so many hurdles. I've broken down ceilings. I've crashed barriers. I've scaled mountains, figuratively speaking. Because you know what? For every single door that was shut on my face, you know what? I found another door. For every time I was put in a box, I jumped right out of that box. I am still in an industry where I have to constantly prove myself. Not the fact that I have to prove myself to myself, but I have to prove myself every time how resilient I can be and how much of an identity and strong force that I must be. So you know what? This is my celebrity story. My story is like $1 million question rolled into one.
My story for today, which hopefully will inspire you, is that when I was 17, my mom died. And at the time, my mom was the only one that had been encouraging me as far as acting was concerned. My dad was not for it at all. And on her deathbed, she told my father, let this girl do what she wants to do. Unfortunately, he was still against it. And I went to theater school, much to his disdain. But the thing is, even though I went through a lot of stuff because he refused to sponsor me because I was doing what he didn't want me to do, I endeavored, I worked, I had many jobs. I used to do all kinds of stuff. I used to braid hair. There's a lot of stuff I do people don't know about just to make ends meet. Some days it would be between transport and food and all kinds of things. But I endeavored, I worked hard, I stuck to what I wanted to do, and finally I am here. And as far as I'm concerned, I've only just begun. But I am here, and I'm going to keep on pushing on until that Oscar sits on top of my table. So, no matter what it is that you want to do, so far it's a good thing. Don't let anyone discourage you. There will always be a way around it if you just put your head down and put in the work.
What's up, everybody? They call me Road Boy. Now, let me share a brief and a small story for you guys, okay? I used to be a young boy who never had this experience of having parents coming to pick you in school or taking you to school. Those kind of things that if you wake up in the morning as early as 6, you dress up everything by 6:30, it will take you like 1 hour, 20 minutes to get to my school. I never had that experience of waiting for a driver to come and pick me in school. That kind of lifestyle whereby even your parents will prepare breakfast for you or lunch for you to take in school. It was all about survivors, okay? But today, I want to tell you guys something. Maybe my parents took it that way for me because they never had, but I promised myself when I was young, if I ever made money, my children are not going to go through that. I'll provide everything for my kids, transportation, security, whatever, okay? So let me tell you, so whatever you're going through in life today, make sure you keep your head up because whatever you're experiencing, it will give you that power, that strength, not to allow your kids to go through that. Road Boy says so. Bless her.
Before Jennifer's Diary, I would go for, to be honest, I did not think I was going to be an actor. I just thought I was going to sing. How I got into acting, one particular day, I went to church for rehearsals, choir rehearsal, and then I got there early. My friend called that she had written my name in some audition. I was like, audition, ads free, me? I know they do. So she was like, come through, they're waiting. So because rehearsals had not started and the place wasn't so far from where I was, so I was like, okay, I'll just go and see what's up. Thereafter, I started going for auditions. Some people will say really nasty stuff to you. Instead of them to just say, no, go. They will yab you. They will make you not believe in yourself. You just feel like giving up. So I just chilled. And then one particular time, I got a BC. That was in days of BlackBerry. My friend sent me an audition BC. It was for Jennifer's Diary. So I said, guy, I know they go. All these things, they don't already get people where they want to put there. So I'm not going to go. So I was like, go, 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 go. My mom told me to go. My dad told me to go, the amazing man, and my friend. So I didn't even know what to wear. So I was discouraged, like, nah, I'm not going to go. But my friend, thankfully, she works for Genevieve at the time. By the way, I love. I cannot explain the love I have for Genevieve. The place was crowded and I don't like crowd. So I went to hide in the restroom as always. That's what I always do. So I was there till like 8 p.m. For real. I called my mom. Mom, I'm leaving. She said, no, too bad is audition. So I stayed there. 9 p.m. I auditioned. In my head, I was like, there's no way they wouldn't have found people they need. A couple of weeks after, they called me for the second audition. We did the third audition. We did the final reading. We're quite a number of people reading for Toyosi. At the end of the day, as God would have it, I got the role for Jennifer's Diary to play Toyosi. I did not have any idea that the character was going to have so much continuity. I don't even know. I didn't know that I was going to be in several seasons. So, yeah, and that's how I found myself in Jennifer's Diary series.
Contrary to popular belief, Corona is not a hoax. The virus is real. Be responsible. Wear a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water and avoid crowded places. Maintain physical distancing. Be responsible. Together, we can overcome the pandemic.
It's a Monday morning. It's Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa, and I have this funny grievance with Nigerians today. First off, we have this